Hello, my fellow speakers. This is Brian, the speaker for the dead, coming to you today with a new video on Star Trek. Now, there's been a little controversy in Star Trek this last week. Go figure! I mean, it seems like that's all there is in Star Trek anymore. But this came from a really unexpected source in my book. I was not prepared for this. And it comes to us via Captain Catherine Janeway, who was played by the actress Kate Mulgrew. Kate Mulgrew, who was made famous and given a career by Star Trek Voyager, where she played the lead character, the Captain, came out this week in an interview for a book tour or something she's doing that I don't think anybody really cares about, other than the fact she said this. And she came out and said that Star Trek the original series, TOS, and its creator, Gene Roddenberry, were misogynists. What? You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. You know, I'm going to buy a t-shirt that says that. You keep using that word. And then on the back, I'm just going to print all of the social justice trigger terminology that they use on a daily basis. Because, I mean, what a stupid thing to say. Absolutely stupid. You know, and I remember a comment in one of the Voyager episodes that I was watching, back when I was watching Voyager more than I am now, and probably won't be ever again. Here I'm watching this along, and I remember there's this episode where they're talking about Captain Kirk and Spock and those guys. I don't remember why they were brought up in the episode. I just remember this because it caught my attention even back then. She comes out with this line, if those people were in Star Trek or were in Starfleet today, they'd be kicked out on their ear in a brig somewhere. I'm just sitting there thinking, what? And that was a line her character says. Captain Kirk, Spock, Leonard McCoy, Scotty, all those guys. They'd be in a brig or kicked out of Starfleet because they don't fit our new modern sensibilities of Starfleet. So, I mean, I always assumed that was just something that was written in there to kind of show that, back in the original Star Trek, it was kind of cowboy. It was kind of Wild West. That's the way Gene Roddenberry planned it. It was supposed to be wagon train to the stars. I mean, and they're exploring unknown, wild territory where anything can happen to them. The same thing with Star Trek The Next Generation. They're on the edge of space, of Federation space, exploring. But they still live by Starfleet regulations and codes. But here she is judging. It's like me standing here today, and that's the problem. We have people just like this in our world today who stand from our perspective, look back at the founding fathers and go, they were just terrible white slave owners. You picked one aspect of what they did in their life to focus on and condemn them for? One, George Washington wanted to free his slaves, but he couldn't. By law, under the British, he couldn't, and then after they separated and the revolution was over, he couldn't because of Virginia law. He was following the law of the land. But upon his and Martha's death, he was allowed to free his slaves, and it was in their will that the moment they died, their slaves were immediately freed. Now I know that's not Star Trek. I'm just saying, it's the same thing. You cannot go from our perspective of history and sit there and condemn people who didn't live in our current times. Any more than some idiot actress can criticize a TV show that her TV show is based on what they did. Do you not have any concept of time period, time frame, context? Do you know how hard it was for Gene Roddenberry to get stuff passed through the censors, the network censors? The man gave us the first interracial kiss on national TV. Now, somebody tries to say, well, the British did that 10 years before, and yeah, but does anybody know what that show's called? Has anybody ever heard of that show? No. So it didn't have the impact. Okay, maybe it wasn't the first, but it's the one that's recognized as the first because it had a huge impact. Gene Roddenberry did that. Gene Roddenberry listened to the ideas of the women actresses that were playing the roles. The person that plays Yeoman Rand, the assistant that stands by and takes log entries from Captain Kirk. It was her idea to have those short little mini skirts. Because it was during the 60s and the women's sexual revolution, and they were burning their bras and they were, whatever. That was her way of saying, I'm a woman and I'm going to dress the way I want. This is what I want my costume to look like. Boom, it's in the show. He put it in there by their request. Not because all the men were going, yeah, cut off them skirts a little lower there, Gene, baby. Come on. I want to see their butt crack. Now, it is reported that Gene Roddenberry was a notorious skirt chaser. Yeah. You know why? Because he's a man. If it wasn't for men chasing women, the human race, would have ended a long time ago. It's wired into us genetically. We are the pursuers. That's how we're wired. We're the ones with the stronger sex drive, because if we didn't have that, there'd be no children ever. Most men aren't natural nurturers. I remember back when these same kind of people used to get mad at Christians for being science deniers. And granted, in the olden days, it took Christianity a while to come along with the rest of the world and realize that science had a good place. See, I don't think science and Christianity or religion cancels each other out unless, like, you're Muslim and you're trying to return us to the 12th century. No offense to my Muslim friends, but I'm sorry, there's a lot of you who seem to want to live in mud huts and dust But now these same people that used to crap on the Christians for not moving forward in science have become the science deniers. There's climate change. There's no evidence. No clear scientific evidence of climate change. Not that can be explained by man. And now they're saying men and women aren't real. It's gender's just a social construct. No, it isn't. It's science. XX, XY. There is physiological proof that men and women are different. But I seem to have wandered off topic. But because of it, these people are clueless, and they should not be listened to in anything. Once they step off that acting soundstage, mute them, because nobody cares. Kate Mulgrew, I don't care what your political views are. I don't care about your virtue signaling. You played a great captain on a good show, and that's not enough? You have to use that platform to crap on people? To crap on the very man who gave you a career? Nobody'd even know who the hell you were without Voyager. See, I remember you, Kate Mulgrew, from a little-known, never-remembered film called Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, in which she plays a major, a kind of a tough, hardened military major who's out to get the truth, and she plays a good character. I love that movie. It never got much notoriety, but it had a great premise, and it was a lot of fun. She was in that. But other than that, no one, I mean, she wasn't some big A-list star before Star Trek. You were nobody. You played bit parts. And now you come back and crap on the man that made that possible for you. And the original series that blazed the trail. And the series before that. Because you even kind of, in her statement, blames, oh yeah, and then Star Trek The Next Generation, it was pretty misogynist too. Oh, so it was all misogyny until you got there. Well, except for the, Tasha Yar, who was the security chief on the Enterprise. And not that she didn't get replaced by Worf because they wanted to. She wanted to leave the show. She didn't want to get typecast, so she left the show. That's the only reason she didn't stay the security chief. The counselor is a major character in that show. Dr. Beverly Crusher, an integral part and a great character in that show. But see, Marina Skirtis came out, the woman who played Counselor Troy, and basically did the same thing that Kate Mulgrew just did. Except she came out and said, oh, if you're a Republican, you can't be a Star Trek fan because it's incompatible. Shut up! Here's like that retard that attacked me on my YouTube channel because I make a bad Star Trek fan because I don't agree with the Democrats. I want to be able to get on YouTube every day and talk about great stories, cool things that are coming out, things that I'm happy about. But you people make it damn near impossible. It is constant, 24/7, 365 days a year, you people are coming out saying stupid shit. Pardon my French. And it gets tiresome. Take a day off. Shut your pie holes for one day. Give us one movie that you don't politically crap all over. Anyway, Voyager, so long. Not worth watching you anymore because your captain couldn't keep her pie hole shut. Despite the fact she was the lead on the show, the chief engineer on the show was a woman. Yeah. 7 of 9. Of course, you didn't like 7 of 9, did you? Okay. You crapped all over Jerry Ryan's character of 7 of 9 because you thought she was too sexualized. She's way hotter than me, so I'm bad. I always thought Catherine Janeway was pretty hot. I'm not intimidated by strong women, so I just thought she was pretty hot. Jerry Ryan, super hot. But Kate Mulgrew, behind the scenes, oh yeah, just real crappy to her. So, I mean, who's the misogynist here? Who's the enemy of women here? You're the one attacking other women on your set, not me. Not the rest of us out here. We didn't have any problem with Jerry Ryan. So, go pound sand, lady. Yeah, it's just sad to see these people who don't even understand the franchises they're part of. And it's all just to gain woke points and political points to get themselves noticed by the media. I'd rather be not noticed by the media than be noticed for being an absolute twit. But it's not just the women doing this. It's the men too. And it's just getting worse every day. So, anyway, I hope you like this video. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you like it, because if you don't, that tells the algorithm, I don't need to put this up forward for anybody else to see. So that does help me out quite a bit by doing that, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all the people who view my videos, and I appreciate that. Some of the things you can look forward to is I'm going to be finishing up my next Star Trek video on the motion picture. That's going to be coming soon this week. I will also have a video on the MCU Phase 4 that was just recently released, and some other exciting things I'm going to be talking about. Also going to be doing a review of Alita Battle Angel. One of my subscribers, Kamikaze D, asked me to do a review on that, and if you have a request for something for me to review, please tell me. I will be more than happy to do that. You can either leave a comment in my videos, or feel free to post a comment on my Twitter account, which is Brian the Speaker on Twitter. And I would be more than happy to do a review or talk about whatever subject you might be interested in. Here pretty quick, I'm hoping within the next week or so, I'm planning on doing my first live stream. So we'll have a chance to actually speak back and forth and interact in a live one-on-one kind of manner, with you being able to type in questions and stuff. And I'm really excited about that. So I hope you're excited as well. And thanks for watching today. Get out there and have yourselves a great day, and we will talk to you next time. Bye now.